What's up, guys? So, on the road again. Feels like just yesterday I was waiting for spring gobbler to start. And, now I got a stake down already, done in Virginia. And, well, not quite. I still have one tag for down there, but here in Maryland now, about 40 minutes from my family's cabin. This is Saturday evening. It starts Monday, so I'm looking to get down here and try and roost. Listen to birds go to roost, get up in the morning, try and listen to birds, come off the roost, kind of, get a feel for what, if I can find one, what direction he goes off the roost, and then try and get out and roost him again in the evening before dark. But the main reason for this video was to, kind of talk about what I feel, gets gobblers killed. I think one of the biggest thing is your setup. It can be, it can vary a lot because, you got your hardwood timber situations, you got, field situations. And then your calling. Your calling is, another factor. I mean, whether you need to really call to the bird, whether you need to call less to the bird. And calling can be a lot of things, whether it's, hen yelping, it's, cutting, it's, clucks and purrs, jake yelps. Some people even gobble at them. But starting from the beginning, setup. I mean, if you're in a timber situation, the woods, do everything you can to only set up that you can only see where, your max gun range is. I like to draw the line at 40, so I don't like to be able to see past 40 yards. If you can see 60 yards, it's not good because that gobbler is going to probably get to that point and be able to see exactly. They can pinpoint that sound. They know where you're calling from, and when he gets to that point, can see that there's no hen there. It right away puts something in his head. Something's not right, and he's going to become very hard to kill. And then setting up that he can't see beyond you, or if you really got to watch if you call to them and they can see where you are. If they can see beyond you, it's going to put something in their head, something's not right here, because there's no reason a hen would hide from a gobbler, especially if she's talking to them. When you hear them in the wild, that hen, she gets excited when she hears that gobbler gobble. Like, that's another thing with calling, and putting emotion to it. But that setup is just so critical. I mean, that if you can make it that gobbler has to be in gun range to be able to see to where the call is coming from. Your chances of killing him have just went up tremendously. Field setups, though, it's good to have decoys. I mean, there's guys that don't like decoys, don't like blinds, but hey, I got private property I can hunt down here in Maryland, and it's a hayfield, so it'll be short green grass right now. There was old cow pasture and stuff around it, so it's like there is not a tree bigger than like 6 inches, like within like 30 yards of this field, and some places, even further back in 60 yards of just open, little maple trees, 6 inches round. So I'll pop up a blind right on the edge, and then I'll run decoys out there. But without that, like, to call them birds and get them to come to that field, well, once they get like 30 yards from that field, they can see out across there. They see nothing. How do you expect that bird to keep coming? Like, it's going to lock it up. It's going to put something in his head right away. Hey, this ain't right. Going to make him tough to kill. So yeah, I like to, I'll pop up a blind right on the edge, use my decoys. It gives them a visual. When they get to a certain point, they can see, there's birds over there. And calling, you don't want to sound like that, just broken record turkey, that like turkeys have emotion to what they're calling. Like, I have birds in a pen. I raise them, and there's some wild turkeys that come around every now and then, and I'll hear a gobbler back there gobble, and my hen, she'll just like jump all over and just excitement in her. Like she, a couple cuts and then like, a couple yelps, and it's, it's not the same thing. It's not like repeated, rhythm or pattern. It's, broken up. It might be like 3 yelps or 3 cuts and 3-5 yelps, and might be no cuts, couple yelps, and then some cuts. Like you don't want to just sound like that, monotone turkey like a lot of hunters out there will sound like. Running 2 calls. I really like to run 2 calls anymore. It kind of I think almost puts the illusion in the gobbler's head, like, hey, I guess that's why that hen's not coming to me. She's already got, turkeys don't like being alone. She's already got turkeys over there. I'm the loner. I better get over there. But running 2 calls, with kind of emotion in them, just the turkeys talking back and forth, the 2 hens, I think can really be effective. Some people will Jake yelp at them, kind of, put the illusion in the gobbler's head that, there's a Jake over there with the hens. I better get over there. And then some people even gobble at them. Now, I would say the gobbling is more going to be best for early season when they're still in that like fight mood. All the birds have their pecking order. They know who's boss, who they're messing with, who they're not. And when someone gobbles at them, it can really fire up a gobbler, being like, who's that gobbler in my area and over there with them hens. But scratching in the leaves is another thing. Like if you can get that bird, a lot of mornings, early mornings when the dew's heavy and stuff, it's wet. It's something you really can't even do if it's rainy. Not something you can do, but mid-morning or them cold crispy days, like scratching in the leaves is just as good as throwing hen yelps at them. They can hear that from pretty far off, and it just makes the situation very realistic for them. So yeah, if you could put all these things together, really take time on that setup. If there's open area above you, there is, bird is a lot of times going to wrap to that high side of a call. It can be the slightest high side. I'm telling you, like 2 to 3 foot of elevation change from where you're sitting. That's probably where that bird is going to circle or arc to come into you, like just because he wants the higher side to be able to see the best. So know that with your setup. And another quick thing. When you hear a bird kind of like, oh man, he's not coming, he's kind of moving, off to the left, I should get up and move, and then you move, and then next he's gobbling back where you were. What I've realized from, really being patient and sitting, that a lot of times that bird takes he's got to take his almost trail or his way of getting to you. It's his home turf. A lot of times he knows how to get to where you're at, the easiest or the best or his safest way. And even with watching them, from open areas with fields sitting in a blind and stuff, running decoys, like I'll watch how they arc you and stuff like that. And there's times you're in the hardwoods and you hear that bird gobble and he's going that way, you think he's leaving, and you're trying to get out around him. He might just be taking his path to get to you. So be patient. That's another thing. I like to, if I know I'm in, an area where turkeys are, or in turkeys, I like to be in, where I want to sit down, before light. Sit down, and if I move, it's probably like 10 o'clock or something like that. I might move to a, hey, I like that a little better. I heard a bird that way. I might move 80 yards further that way and set up. And that's another big thing with private property. Like, I have a little piece down here I can hunt, and I'm telling you, I will be in there way before daylight. I will be sitting down, and I hate moving. I hate even like one time, throughout the morning getting up and moving, because the first time you bump that bird or that bird sees you or anything like that, like you just really hurt your property and help the neighbors out. You can, really help yourself by just staying put, learn what's going on. And don't go out on the first day on your private property and like hunt it like it's the last day. Like, don't be educating birds the first day, especially if you're, you know, you're gonna be hunting them for, you know, a couple days, a 3-day trip or something like that. Learn them, you know, hey, they came off the roost and went that way, you know. Next morning, hey, they did the same thing. Well, that third morning, you better be in that same direction they came off the roost and went. But don't ruin your property, you know, right away. Like, don't educate them birds. I just want to go over some things that, you know, might help you, you know, get that gobbler killed this year. It's always like you get out early and sometimes, you know, you gotta screw up on some birds to get one killed. And I just always try and, you know, relive my mistakes. You know, really hold yourself back, put some thought into it, and you'll kill more turkeys. And don't leave the woods, you know, with your, you know, whether you make a mistake or you kill a bird, like don't just leave the woods defeated or proud, you know. Always ask yourself why'd that happen like that, you know. Why'd I kill that bird? Why didn't I kill that bird? You know, you gotta learn from your mistakes. You know, the more mistakes you make, the more birds you're gonna kill, honestly. But yeah, you learn from them. You know, I go back, you know, so many years. It's like, man, if I could be back on that bird, or if I could have just set up this way, you know. You always have those, you know, those stories, but you gotta just take them, use them to your advantage, and learn from them. It's gonna make you a better turkey hunter. But yeah, I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to go over some of the, you know, things I really think, you know, gets a gobbler killed. Like some of the important things that you just sometimes don't think of, or sometimes don't think of until that mistake happens, or, you know, you're in that situation. But, you know, a lot of guys here in the north haven't gotten out yet. Just hope this can help you bag your turkey this spring. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be trying to put more videos out like this. Hopefully I'm putting up a kill on Monday. But yeah, if you learned anything or like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions on stuff, go ahead and throw it in the comments. I'll, you know, try and hit on it. Not no professional, not no expert. Never claim to be. Just because as soon as you start thinking you're an expert is when you'll stop learning. So always just, yeah, ask yourself why and what happened, you know, why that happened, and just keep learning and learn from your mistakes, and you'll become a better turkey hunter and kill more turkeys. But good luck to everyone out in the woods, and until next time.